All right, finally, everyone, welcome to this is going to be Nicov and MBL versus LB10 and Nili. This is going to be the round of 16 matchup in the No Madness tournament. This is a $1.5K tournament. Most of the money going to the top 4 in this tournament. So players win here, they'll be able to get a nice shot at the money. They lose here, they'll have to go to the losers bracket and have a much harder time to get at that money.
Hi, nobody. I am in game. That catch up was a little bit faster than I thought.
Okay, I'll be at 1 minute really quickly. I'm going to pause at 1 minute.
Okay, and I'll catch right up to you.
Okay, I'm here with my CoCaster Willis, and finally we have a game for you. I just did a little bit of introduction about the tournament, and let me know when you're at 1 minute, Willis.
I'm at 1 minute, ready to click play when you are.
Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Fantastic.
And isn't this nice? We're actually casting the game now. I feel so much better than having to go through lobby browser and what is it, lobby simulator, and we're finally in the game. Wow.
It's almost like I got up 2.5 hours ago in order to do this morning and then go do other things, and now we're finally doing the thing that we set out to do. This is great.
It is great, yes. So
I mean, it's slightly changed, but we got something going.
A little bit. So let's introduce some of the players as they place down their town centers now. We have Nicov in the top corner. He is playing as the Malians this game. And his ally this game will be MBL, playing in purple as the Aztecs. Would you like to do the honor of introducing the other team, Willis?
Absolutely. In Tio, we've got LB10 playing as the Spanish. He's in the bottom left corner. He's kind of sandwiched in between MBL and Nicov, but a little bit more on that later. And then in the red, we've got Nili. That's going to be fun to cast one of Nili's games. He's in Persians. He's much further away than all the other players. And he's got, I'm going to say, a favorable position at the moment.
Nili
as far
is,
as resources.
Yeah, he does have a favorable position. One of the things I love about Nomad, it's one of those maps that every popular map in Age of Empires has something that we love about it, whether it's Black Forest being late game, or it's Arabia being aggressive, or whatever. There's something we love about these maps, and I love in Nomad just being able to start with villagers, build your town center wherever you like, having to find your resources. It's really a unique aspect, and in this case, Nili's got his town center all the way in the top right corner, top right of the map. He's got a little bit of positional advantage, but it makes things a little bit interesting in my opinion. So he's got good access to fishing, which he's already got a dock up as the Persians, and should be pretty interesting.
Yes, Nili actually just started flaring to his teammate that he's spotted Nicov already as far as the house goes. So I'm gonna
check
scroll
his
through the
fog
players
of
real
war.
quick.
And yeah, you can see the little house there. They like to scout with their sheep. It's okay if you give up a single sheep. You're able to find your opponent. Since Nili's playing as the Persians, he's able to have his fishing ship out. And since that extra wood at the very beginning of the game, so it's a nice civilization for him. His ally, LB10, playing as the Spanish. Good late game civilization, great with conquistadors, good with tower rushes also, which could be very popular on the Nomad map. What do you think about these civilizations, Willis?
Ooh, already pushing the noob over here. Let's see, now in Spanish. And I already lost it. In Aztecs. Well, you know, we're not gonna try for the best. We're gonna say what I know, what I'm gonna say from my new perspective. I like Aztecs. They're usually OP in Arabia. I don't know how much that applies, but that's what I'm gonna say.
Well, Aztecs, I think their late Eagle span will probably be the best, their best aspect of the civilization. On Nomad, you typically don't go for that 5 militia drush, so it negates a little bit of their early bonus. But hopefully they can get up to that Eagle spam. They're going against the Spanish and the Persians, which are two heavy cavalry civilizations, which tends to be a little bit of a weakness of the Aztecs in my opinion. Eagles don't fare so well against cavalry. They don't fare so well against gunpowder, and they don't fare so well when they only get the pikeman upgrade. So I think that might be a little bit of a civ disadvantage for the Aztecs. However, they do get good monks, and that might be something that we look to see from the Aztec player.
Well, I will chime in then as far as LB10 is Spanish. Assuming this game gets enough into Castle Age before aggression with his TC right on that stone, he'll definitely have a castle up.
Yeah, that's a nice 10 center
he'll be
position
going
for
for
LB10,
cons.
especially playing as a Spanish. He's got a little shorefish there. He's got a lot of deer. He's got wood. He's got stone. He's got gold. And he's also got a little fish. So he's got just everything that you could possibly want on a Nomad-type map. Now, on the other hand, a player like Nicov has a little bit of shorefish, but doesn't have any wood or gold. Doesn't have any gold or stone that close. He'll have to go out just a little bit, and those could be contested with how close these players are to each other.
I believe Nicov at the moment is making a move as far as trying to gain a lot of map control. Arguably, he's trying to wall in his own resources, but he's really more so walling Nili in.
Just a bit. It's good to be defensive. Yeah. I believe that villager was there. Was there anyway, and there may or may not be a hole there. It looks like it's not a hole, but he's going to continue to wall up. This is going to cost him a lot of resources, and I guess he doesn't want to see the Persian scouts coming in. But this will be quite a bit of resources to wall this whole thing up. I think it might be a little bit excessive, in fact.
Yes, even if he gets that corner, and he's still got so much more going down south towards his well, actually, not even towards the enemy here. That he's going for arguably way too much space, I believe, or at least I wouldn't even say he's going to have it finished in any reasonable amount of time.
Someone in the chat asking why are Persian scouts pretty good? They're pretty good because of the Persian economy. The Persians have extra resources at the start, and they also are able to get their fishing ships out. So it might be something to fear early on. Nili getting his economy sorted out. He's actually taking gold right now, so he's actually going to go with a galley rush right away.
I think, plain and simply, that's going to probably come out pretty successful, seeing as Nili's already been hitting the water harder, so you can assume that his wood income's been better.
Yeah, well, Nili's going to get up first. He's going to get up well before Nicov, and Nicov might lose all of his fishing. Actually, Nikov's in a pretty decent time for a civilization that doesn't get really any bonuses. I guess they get a wood bonus, but they're going to have to fight over the water here. That could be very important as to who who takes the lead in this game. Fortunately, Nili having a little idle fishing ships, but that's okay. But this is going to be a big battle in the north.
Okay, I believe I'm catching up to you at the moment. Don't feel the need to slow down. I'm
at 12 minutes.
Cues. Okay.
And 12
just about
now.
There. Okay, catching up.
And over in the south, LB10 clicking up right now. He's on 33 population. Might be looking for either... I would like to say he's going to go for a fast castle build. He's got 3 on gold, 3 on stone, so might be looking for a castle. And he's also kind of laming MBL's deer. He's laming the lamer, it appears. What is MBL going to be going for? MBL's going up to feudal age now, so probably fast castle from him as well.
Alright, so we'll see some feudal aggression between these two players, and then maybe some castle aggression against the other two. If you had to put it on somebody out of the two castle players, who's going to be pulling it off better at the moment?
Out of the two castle age players? You mean MBL and LB10?
Yes, I think I've got to hand it to... Oh, I didn't notice MBL's fish way in the south. I thought he wasn't on fish at all. I was gonna give it handedly to LB10, thinking MBL had no further food income. But that in the south does change my opinion on it.
Well, LB10 is going to go for his castle, and then MBL, you have to assume, goes for monks. So I would prefer the damage potential of the Spanish here, but it also depends on the castle positioning, because if the castle is in a very bad position, then maybe monks can do some damage on their own. However, I would give it to LB10 for that offensive potential. Meanwhile, in the north, we have Nicov actually winning the galley war. This is a really good credit to him. Persians should have had a little bit of an advantage with their uptime, with their better economy in the early game. And Nili is kind of giving that up a little bit. He's going to come back with a few fire galleys. Might be a good time to add a demo or two. And he's going to push Nicov back. However, one of Nili's docks is now idle. These fishing ships have either died or they've migrated to the south now, which is hurting Nili's food economy.
Yes, Nili's moved himself very far to the east. I didn't quite catch how many fishing ships he lost, but seeing that he only has 6... I'm going to say he lost maybe about 2 or 3, if you happen to catch it.
I don't think he lost. He either lost 1 or 0. You could check the KD marker in the spectator overlay.
Oh, thank you.
That might have been a fire ship that he lost. So I would not be surprised if Nili kept all of his fishing ships. He's starting to transition to galleys now, which seems to be a little bit of the meta. Add fire galleys, then add a few. Oh no! Gonna see a demo raft? Okay. Whenever you see a demo raft, you have to stop saying whatever you're saying and just go, "Oh my god, a demo! Oh my god, a demo shot!"
Let's see, zooming in on Nili's dock from his point of perspective. He's not making another demo out of that dock. That's unfortunate. That's what we'd love to see.
Now look at LB10 in the south. He's actually got a tower up on MBL. 500 stone in the bank. He should be able to drop a castle immediately, maybe if he uses his market a little bit. But he's actually towering on MBL. MBL's going to be forced to move his wood line, which is a huge hassle to him. And I think LB10 is doing some good damage here. Even going to tower up the dock.
Even going to wow, yeah, that could be a big deal later on, depending on how those fish move around. Well, how do you feel about the second tower as opposed to being particularly ready for a castle immediately? Actually,
yeah, that was my concern. I was going to mention that. I'm not sure how much that tower does. There's obviously no fishing there. It's up against the edge of the map, and I think, you know, at this stage you have to be focused on your castle. I think he'll have just enough stone to get a castle up, but it might be close. I don't think it was really worth that stone though if he has to delay his castle at all, because this siege workshop is going up from MBL. If a mangonel comes out before this castle is done, that could be a doubt castle.
Absolutely. I'm wondering if he was watching the scores and noticed that MBL clicked up first, and that might have changed his mind about going for towers. But now
the score strikes again. Idling, I'm not a huge fan of score watching, but
well, actually,
yeah, perhaps.
With those idle villas waiting there, has to.
This could be a doubt castle. I don't know. These are Spanish villagers. Obviously, LB10 is aware this could be a doubt castle. He's bringing more villagers in. This mangonel is about to pop out for MBL.
It'd be great if they had the attack ground time just perfectly. That
it popped out on the wrong side, actually. It should have popped out on the other side. It's actually trapped there between LB10's palisades. How lucky is that? That's actually going to be a dead mangonel for MBL.
That's so unfortunate.
Always make sure to set your gather points on your buildings, or else they could get trapped like that. That could have been huge. That could have been a game changer. But instead, LB10 is going to have the advantage here. He could delete a bit of palisade, and we have to see these monks come out immediately for MBL.
Listen, just getting the second monastery up now. One monk is queued. As Conch, I mean, I gotta assume Conchs are coming in immediately. Yep, already one at 60% completion.
My God, look at this water war in the north. This is everything the developers wanted to see. Every unit being used right now. A lot of galleys from Nili. Nicov is still heavier on the fire galleys, and I believe this should be an advantage for Nili. I believe it's more beneficial. What in the world are we seeing? Are we seeing Nili is going for a trade cog? He's actually trading with Nicov right now. How awesome is that? My God.
That's something you don't get to see every day. But I gotta wonder, what is the amount? It can't be all that high. Is it worth it, Nili? How much are you getting out of this?
He's getting 4 gold apiece. At that rate, it'll take about maybe 30, 40, 50 trips to pay for itself. I don't know. Probably not that many,
but... That's just great.
But I see trade cogs so infrequently, I don't know how much a trade cog costs.
Yeah, I'm not sure off top. Actually, you know what? I'll check the tech tree for us in the meantime.
Of course, that's the most important thing in this game right now. The 17 HP trade cog.
100 wood, 50 gold.
Oh, just like a trade card. So doing the math there, take about 11 or 12 trips.
Right.
LB10 with his conquistadors. Oh boy. No. I thought it was open for a second. He's gonna batter down. It doesn't matter though. These conquistadors get through palisade walls so quickly. This could be a disaster for Nicov.
Absolutely. Catching. Oh man, there's definitely gonna be a balance of me going after your time. Oh wow, I didn't think that LB10 was gonna move up towards Nicov. I thought he would just keep putting the hurt on MBL. I did
too, but I think he saw those monasteries and was a little intimidated. I don't see any monks right now. Maybe they're going north. Yeah, they're going north a little bit. But that makes sense considering the how strong the monk defense could be. And Nicov is still in the feudal age.
Nili's currently slinging LB10 a little bit.
Oh, that's a little bit more than a little bit.
Oh, is it? Oh, maybe I missed how much it was. I only saw 1 or 2, maybe.
Well, okay. Yeah, Nili's going up to the next stage. I think he has extra resources. So that's why he's oh, this is odd. Okay, just a little bug. No, Nili is full in feudal age. Yeah, he's going full sling to his ally here, the Malians. The Malians are a very strong civilization, but they're not going to be very strong if these conquistadors get in the back. Quick walls coming up, and that's not going to be enough HP on that house. This could be a game changer, as these villagers are stuck here. I think we'll want Nicov to get a transport out. However, there are galleys in the back, so this could be very, very dicey for Nicov.
Those 3 conquistadors up top are extremely weak. But the other 4 are making it in. There's actually a small hole there.
Yeah, now that you look at it, it looks pretty obvious, but that's too bad. Oh boy. That one female lumberjack still chopping away, pretending like nothing's happening. She's just gonna do her job.
If I just keep working, they might not notice me.
Yeah, blend in. But actually, she's gonna make it, I think. 2 conversions coming in on those conquistadors, and yeah, actually, she might make it. No? Yes? No? Is she gonna fight?
Maybe.
Oh no! Oh no! She's not gonna make it. Oh.
I think with all that damage, I'm okay with the 2 conversions. I think I'd let that happen anytime.
Yeah. That was great damage from LB10. And thinking about it, LB10, Nili, probably a little bit underdogs in this matchup. They're certainly very experienced, but they're really showing their own here. They're 300 points ahead in the score right now, which is very significant at this stage of the game.
Yeah, so what's our next move for Nili here? Do you think, is he going to have to go into full sling? Or does he catch up and maybe send out? I can't think of what his option is right now. Oh wow!
You see the lumber camp?
MBL. About the lumber camp?
Yeah, I'm just fixated on the lumber camp. I know we're trying to talk strategy, but there's so many things in this game that just get me hashtag triggered, and that lumber camp is one of them.
Nili's?
Yeah.
Okay. You just hate the placement that much?
They're really just bumping into each other all over the place.
Okay. Oh, okay. More like just because there's one of them rather than probably about 4 at this point.
Yeah. So anyway, I think so. Nili, I think the Spanish player is definitely a strong, strong player to sling. Should be able to get up to paladins and do a lot of damage with conquistadors. He's slinging a civilization that can really do the damage there. Has some great versatility. But will he be able to do enough damage? I don't know. He's definitely not going to be able to do enough damage with conquistadors if the monks keep coming out. But he's doing a little bit of damage right now. But you really have to keep hitting, Nicov if you want to make this work. And I feel like that would be the better option.
Well, Nicov moving over right now, I believe, let's see, he's got, yeah, he is, he's dropping a town center close to that stone.
And immediately Nili dropping a tower, trying to do what he can to be annoying. That tower is actually very annoying if the town center's not in range.
Kind of funny where you put that. But so here's my concern with Nili that I think I see in more than enough games. He's effectively, he's extremely open. Nicov would just need a handful of anything, delete 1 piece of palisade, and Nili himself has no answer for it.
This is true, but Nicov does not have any military that we're concerned about right now, and you have to keep in mind the conquistadors are very mobile too. So if Nili gets in any trouble, conquistadors can come on in. This is a nice castle position from LB10. It's shutting down one of MBL's town centers, and also shutting down just a lot of space that MBL would need. LB10 really putting the squeeze on MBL coming in from each side.
If MBL hadn't already moved to the 2 more TCs with all those farms and all those monks ready to defend, I think that castle would have been the GG if MBL was maybe only on 2 TCs, not counting, or with counting the one that's now under the castle.
So LB10 with the sling, certainly doing a lot of damage to MBL. If this was a 1 versus 1, of course he would win. But the thing is, Nicov is booming up in his own base quite nicely. He's on 53 villagers, which doesn't sound a lot, but you know, it's certainly better than what Nili has. I think if you're getting slung, you really have to do damage to both players, not just one. And there goes those Conquistadors. They're going north right now.
Nili currently hitting Nikov's base with galleys. Just taking out 1, 2 villagers. A third's going to go down to the Conquistador that was hanging out in the back.
Yeah, that's very nice. Most of Nikov's base is on the shoreline. Remember, his original TC was very close to the shoreline. Sometimes you don't want to place your original TCs too close to the shoreline for that reason.
Alright, so is it just continue to sling, continue to make conks, and hope to overpower?
I think at this stage they're too committed to it. You know, if you stop sling right now, then I think Nicov is going to be too strong for LB10 to handle. So usually you continue sling basically until the end of the game. It's a very big decision when you decide to go full sling.
Okay, so...
And especially with these civilizations too. I mean, if LB10 is able to get up to Paladin, there's really nothing the Aztecs can do. Unless you have some really great micro with monks. Which we all know how much MBL loves microing with monks.
Here I was trying not to say that I still have the Voodoo mod on, but when you say something like that...
So MBL up to the Imperial Age. He's trying to get up his castle. That would be huge for him. He's going to lose a lot of villagers in the process, but we'll be able to get out a trebuchet. And that's really the thing that matters most for him. Also get some of those monk upgrades in. And hopefully be able to defend. So now even LB10 doesn't even look the greatest, you know, going against MBL, and yet we still have Nicov there as well.
I think this is the point where MBL's making his case for doing his best to take this game back. Ooh, losing a monk underneath his own castle unnecessarily. Had it standing in the wrong spot in range of LB10's castle.
So now we see a little bit of a shift of focus. LB10 going to the north, going to try to hit Nicov and slow him down a little bit. As opposed to really can't do too much more damage onto MBL, especially with these monk upgrades that are about to come in.
Possible big moment with a lot of monks versus those conquistadors about to run into each
Yeah,
other.
MBL just a little bit late, but LB10 also a little bit late, targeting down. And this should be a big loss for LB10. I think 3 purple conversions out of 5 monks. I think just 2 of them stopped Wololoing, so a little bit of mismicro, but regardless, it should be enough as all the conquistadors of LB10 go down. They're still in the score lead by 400 points, but it doesn't really feel like it. It feels like MBL and Nicov have the momentum right now.
There's so many conquistadors coming in for LB10, completely changing that battle over.
Yeah, those Conquistadors chose the wrong side because there's plenty more Conquistadors from LB10 just rolling on in. Luckily for Nikov's base, it is kind of, you know, walled up, like, in itself. So those Conquistadors can't get everywhere in the economy. Really, they're going to be stuck into this north side.
Trying to see where's his next move. Maybe sit near that wood line, try to pick off a few villagers. Trying to find the next best move for LB10 and Nili here.
Well, LB10's got to keep raiding, got to keep picking villagers off. Eventually, LB10 has to get into Paladin. If he can get into Paladin, it might be a game changer. MBL already teching into pikemen. However, he doesn't have any upgrades on them. And again, the Aztecs don't get Halb. So, you know, Cavalier, not going to be the best. But if he could somehow get to Paladin, you know, that could be a game changer.
Ooh, a big conversion for MBL with 5 monks. He took 3 conquistadors, killed the other ones. Now the rest of that conquistador group shows up and gets cleaned up.
Yeah, it goes to show the power of the Aztec monks. Really, those monks are nice and beefy, and yeah, that's just a great matchup for MBL. Those monks against the conquistadors when microed properly. It's all about that micro. Apparently, MBL can micro his monks, but doesn't always choose to do so.
Okay. LB10 currently dropping a castle on Nicov this time. I'm surprised the team has nothing to say about that.
Yeah, well, Nikov's kind of a little bit down and out with those big sandwich between the Conquistadors and Galleys. We have Husser taking out the monks in the middle of the map. So LB10 actually decided to take into Husser before going for Cavalier. looks like it worked out well picking off those monks for now. And now that a few monks are down, might decide to choose to go to Cavalier.
Wow, that came in so fast. I didn't notice any single of those Hussar upgrades.
Yeah, yeah, they came in real fast. Players, you know, you have to plan these things out in advance if you're in Age of Empires. Plan your economy in advance, plan your upgrades in advance before, you know, even a single unit comes out.
LB10 is getting infantry upgrades and man-at-arms.
Well, he sees a lot of the, I guess he doesn't really want to go Cavalier against the, you know, the infantry of MBL.
Cavalier. Is the sling that strong? He can just afford every upgrade he wants. Just thinks about, I want that upgrade, I want that upgrade, I'll grab that one too. Heck, man-at-arms while we're at it. Why not?
Well, I think it makes sense for this stage, this you know, stage of the game right now. I'm kind of questioning if they have enough gold access. I would think that, I don't know. So Nili's not mining that much gold right now. I see LB10 not really mining too much gold. He does have a big gold mine next to his base, but I mean, he should have enough gold to go Cavalier if he wanted to. So this seems like a this is the unit that he wants to go into. So we'll see how that works out for him.
Speaking of the gold, MBL just put a castle on those 4 tiles of gold in between LB10's and MBL's base. It's getting messy. I think it's still anybody's game at this point because of that LB10 castle just making raiding Nicov always a possibility.
I think so too, but the scores say otherwise. The scores are completely, I don't know. They look, you know, it's pretty ridiculous. That's 1,000 score difference, which, you know, usually means the game is over, but this is a very close game. Nicov now putting a castle onto Nili's original town center. Nili will have to leave if he doesn't get any sort of help from LB10, which, how could he? LB10 going to longswordsmen, they're too slow to get over there.
Oh, Nili actually deletes his TC. I questioned it at first, but now I get it. Because he's still in feudal. He has to. He has no other choice. Oh, it's so messy. We need a crystal ball right now just to even pretend like we know what's coming next.
This champion transition looks pretty good from LB10. LB10, 132 villagers. MBL really not on enough villagers to make his own champion transition. You know, infantry like that are quite expensive on the food, so it's hard to do off of only 90 villagers. So you know, we'll see if this can do any damage. Really, you just want to go in through the front, maybe start taking out castles with the infantry. We'll see how long it takes for LB10 to get these upgrades and get a good mass up. But he's got 2 trebuchets ready to move out right now.
If we look at the military numbers, MBL at 67 right now. The other team combined at 41, and then Nicov has 28. So we're looking at about 100 versus 40 military. But it's so much more trash for MBL. Those
this is unfortunate that
those pikemen so much.
You know, you choose to go for a sling. Usually that means that the slinging player is pretty well protected. And in this case, that's definitely not the case for Nili. Nili is on his own. He's over on the right side of the map, completely separated from LB10. LB10 needs to close out this game soon if there's going to be anything left of Nili's base. Nili has no more sling to give right now. He's just trying to stay alive under his fortified Persia town center.
At least it's strong, but those Gebettos are going to continuously... they're just going to be a nuisance, and they're going to be very good at picking off villagers.
Hey, you know what? MBL's saying, I don't need the champion upgrade. I just need pikemen with Garland Wars, and that'll be good enough to poke some holes into these champions.
I mean, he's not entirely wrong. Putting out 10 damage is significant.
Yeah, he's not wrong. That's a little bit surprising. Maybe some hand cannons from LB10 would be very nice. But at the very least, what MBL's doing is he's buying time, as Nili looks to be more and more dead.
But as we say that, LB10 continues to raid Nicov, so Nikov's not looking... Well, actually, 93 vills. They just keep migrating and working in different locations.
A little bit, but Nikov's got a castle up now, so that'll help to prevent the raids. He's also mining stone extremely heavily, so I wouldn't be surprised to see more castles coming up in Nikov's economy. He's already got trebuchets out, so that'll help to minimize the raiding from LB10. Just the momentum's going completely into the other team's direction, even though we still have that 1,000 score difference.
I wonder if right now, with all of this momentum, the only thing stopping them is the unit choices, because Pikeman, while in overwhelming numbers, will whittle down LB10, just isn't gonna push. It's always harder to push with trash.
In my opinion, one mistake from MBL, he's not adding villagers. I haven't seen him gotten raided in a while, so I'm kind of wondering why he's still stuck at 90 villagers. I believe MBL needs to add maybe 30 more villagers, and that should be able to afford him his own champion transition. And that'll, of course, be a stronger unit for him. So I can agree with that their unit compositions are not the strongest right now.
I have to say the same there. If I look at MBL's resources, he's got a little bit of wood and about 800 gold. He could be throwing in a couple more farms, getting more villagers out continuously. I think I don't want to say slowing him down because it's kind of winning the game, is just how many pikemen he's creating. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Constantly creating pikemen out of 5 barracks. Barracks? However you want to say that correctly.
Yeah, so MBL needs to add a little bit more economy. Looks like they have decent gold access this game. But yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, is just not adding enough economy to make that champion transition. Meanwhile, LB10 finally did transition into Cavalier. I believe it's a pretty good choice. He'll certainly need something against the Gabeto, which are getting massed up in good numbers, and even without upgrades, they're able to take out champions. And look at all the monks. Oh, LB10's going to go back. We're not going to see a ton of conversions.
We've seen Nicov in the north pushing off. He trebbed down LB10's castle, and with all those Gabetos, he's also cleaning up those stone mining villagers.
I think it's pretty clear right now that LB10 cannot win this 2 versus 1. Whether that means it's GG or that means that Nili should go up to the next age and do his own thing. I see Nili adding 2 blacksmiths, so I assume Nili is up to the next age right now, and there he is, up to Castle Age. We'll see if he's going to boom or go into Imperial Age. I would just, at this stage, I would add 2, 3 more town centers from Nili, and maybe try to pump out light cavalry or get some sort of military presence on the field right now, because, you know, Nikov's going to see that. Nikov's going to say, I need to raid a little bit more. So I think get some military presence out would be a great idea for Nili.
Well, Nili doing exactly what you want to see. He's dropping a second TC on gold. He's getting 2 stables up. Let's see. I see forging, scale barding armor. So we're seeing knights coming in.
Actually, light cav right now, they want to save a little bit of gold.
My
but
bad.
any unit's going to be better for Nili. So now the focus of the game changes. Now the focus is not for LB10 to kill the other 2 players. LB10's focus is now to hold versus 2 players as Nili builds up his economy. However, will he be able to do that now? We have Elite Gabeto done from Nicov. It looks like they're going to stroll on in. And they should be able to do a lot of damage. Another thing that needs to be said. LB10 mining the gold in the back, so he's got 1 gold mine that he's saturating. This middle contested gold, LB10's not able to mine it, so that'll significantly hurt the strength of his army.
I'm getting worried for LB10 here as the Gabetos and even the pikemen close in. We're running out of things. Running out of choices for him. I mean, that's just a period. That's a lot of pikemen. But even with that, he's got champions, trebuchets, and a few conks in MBL's base.
Is there a plane about to crash into your house?
What's that?
There's a plane about to crash into your house.
There is a fire station about 4 blocks away.
Oh, that's what that was. Okay.
A fire truck just went by. I was reaching for the mute button. I couldn't tell which way it was turning, and then it was too late.
Anyway, LB10 losing his town center. He's going to try to hold with guard towers, which we see has become a lot more popular now. And this is a pretty entertaining game, I have to say. Let's just take a second and appreciate this. This game has gone back and forth. The scores have lied to us so much, and a lot of momentum swings, and it's just this is a pretty good Nomad game.
Okay, so I think this is about the point where we either see this push work Or we see Nili show up with one heck of a raid. So let's see his raiding potential.
Well, he's got Persian boom. Persians really have an underrated boom, able to get their villagers out nice, very fast. Let's see, where is Nili? Nili is... I don't know, I don't see his military.
He's got 3 light cav, or 4 in the back
of MBL's base. Yeah, they're certainly doing a lot of damage, actually. That's most of where MBL's economy is since he was pushed back. But you gotta stop this push on the front for Nicov and MBL. And with the trebuchets in the mix, certainly doing a lot of damage. One thing we didn't see LB10 add, which the Spanish are not really known for, is adding siege. And what's the biggest counter to Gabito? Probably Onager will be the biggest counter to Gabito. But we never saw that from LB10.
Oh, I thought you said we did see it. I'm like scanning the map. I'm like, I don't see this Onager. Where are you talking about? Okay, saying you wish you would have seen it.
And Nili's gonna. There we go, GG, right there. You look at LB10, and he's basically, you know, running out of wood, running out of gold, running out of farm space. It's basically dead in his own base. Nili's too slow to come back. What do you think of some closing thoughts on this game?
I normally like to say what I think the players could have done, but I think each player did everything they could with every situation. Maybe stonewalls from Nili earlier. That's the best critique I can think of at the moment. Just to hold it off, just so his boom would have been a little safer, or sorry, his sling would have been a little safer. But other than that, I can't see any, like, this is the issue that I think might have domino affected the game in a different direction.
So Nili, I think when choosing to go for a sling could be a very powerful strategy. But I think if you want to go for a sling, make sure that you are protected and that you are close to the slinger. Now, LB10 luckily had a very mobile unit in the Conquistador and, you know, able to make up a little bit for that. But Nili is just too far away from LB10 to get any sort of protection if needed. And I don't believe that sling did too much for LB10. I would have liked to see Cavalier would have been a great option if you wanted to really bulldoze, you know, the Aztec player right after the Hussar transition. Or maybe some better Conquistador rating could have really changed the tides of the game. But we did see some great conversions from MBL, great defense from him. And also Nicov defending sufficiently enough to be able to be in this game. So maybe some better Conquistador rating. Perhaps Sling was not the best option in this game. And I think those are some of the areas that could have changed, you know, really changed the game for them. Here we go. So this is going to be game 2 in the No Madness tournament, round of 16 matchup between Nili and LB10 versus Nicov and MBL. Nicov and MBL taking the first point in this match. This is a best of 5, and winner will go on to the next round to face who we're not sure yet because those matches haven't been played yet. But anyway, this is going to be a reversal of the civilizations of game 1. My name is Nobody, and I'm joined here with Willis.
Hello, everybody. This will be day 1 Voobly official streaming, and I'm very happy to be here. Happy to be here with Nobody. Brought me in, and casting Nomad's gonna be maybe a second for me. So I'm glad to get better and better at it every time.
Awesome stuff. I'm glad to be back. It's been 2 years since I was here last, and let's get into this game. So, civilizations reversed. We now have Spanish and Persians versus Aztecs and Malians. I know this is a little bugged on my spectator dashboard, but that's a-okay. It's Malians. And Nicov going to move out across the map. He's going to place his town center to the left corner of the map. His ally, MBL, is over on the top, and he is going to drop his town center over the top. So they're on the left side of the map. Would you like to introduce the other team, Nili and LB10?
Nope, go ahead, Nobody. I clicked the wrong file.
That's a-okay. Just let me know when you're in, and I'll pause it for you, and you can catch up. So Nili playing as the Aztecs, and going to place his town center right next to MBL. Unfortunately, probably in the rules, we won't be able to see a Persian douche, but that's okay. And LB10 placing his town center right next to Nicov. This is one of those things I said I loved about Nomad is that, you know, it's so many random variables here. players can have their town centers right next to each other, and so variable here. Even though that Nicov and MBL are probably a higher seeded team, expected that they might win a little bit. Nomad is such a variable map that really any team can win, and we saw in the last game what incredible comeback that game was, and really any team could win in these matchups.
Alrighty, and that's a great intro because I'm catching up to you in about the next 5 seconds here, and I believe we are in line with each other. I'm at 353.
All right, I'm at 410. Why don't you go ahead and accelerate to 410 and tell me when you're there.
All right, I'm there.
You're at 410 right now? Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Okay,
all right, there you go.
Fantastic. Glad to be back.
Cool. So what do you think about these players' town centers positions?
Well, I will
we have
say
our two players, blue and purple on the left, and then the other team, red and teal on the right.
Blue and purple, red, teal on the right. Let's see. Starting with Nili again. Wood with some gold. That's nice for him. Extremely close to purple MBL. Ooh, I wonder if they will eventually have to fight over water there. And you can almost say the same for Nicov and LB10. They also put themselves almost unknowingly close together. I wonder if they saw each other at all while scouting.
Well, let's check the fog of wars of each player. I think that could be very beneficial here. I'm pretty sure that Nicov knows that his opponent is where his opponents are. He's now X'd the map. He's now flared the map over on the top side, and I'm pretty sure he knows through sheep scouting maybe where his opponent is. He has a general idea how close they are to each other, and I'm going to check over to MBL's point of view. And so he's gotten that information over from Nicov through that flare, and knows that he's close to his opponent.
MBL might be about to run a villager underneath Nili's TC. Oh, nope. Just dodging. But definitely got the right amount of scouting out of it.
What time are you at right now?
7. Oh, I'm going too fast. I'm sorry. I'm slowing down. I'm at 7:20. I'm pausing.
Okay. I'll tell you when I'm at 7:20. Almost there. Let's take a look at LB10's point of view. LB10, able to probably find Nicov, maybe? Yeah, able to see the house. So knows how close they are. So all the players know where they are. I'm at 7:20 now.
Okay, fantastic. And now I know how to base it off of the stream.
So all the players are very aware of how close they are together. What does that mean? That means these players are definitely going to go for more aggressive, play styles. They're going to have to, go for galley rushes, go for tower rushes. And because of that, could be a little bit of a short game, but should be a very action-packed and intense early game here.
Yes, what do you think about the possibility of Nili going for man-at-arms and towers? Think we might see that? Wait, MBL? Is MBL?
What the hell is MBL doing? That's how many villages is Douche allowed? Douche apparently is allowed in this tournament.
Is it? I can't see what else it could possibly be. So
I can't believe. Usually in Nomad tournaments, Douche is not allowed. But I guess it is allowed in this tournament, and luckily for us, we get to see this a completely unique strategy, as MBL is going to build his town center right on top of Nili's town center.
Now does Nili... Nili's in a terrible position. He doesn't have enough wood to relocate right now. So that's... What a move by MBL. There's... Nili's got nothing to say. I think Nili just has to run, build a lumber camp.
What you do in this situation, you need... Well, the thing is, so Nili needs enough wood to build another town center. And he's pretty close. So I would not repair the town center at all. Just get 275 wood, run all the way across to the other side of the map, and rebuild your town center.
Do you take this opportunity to purposely build very close to your ally, knowing that you're going to be behind?
I would build somewhat close. You don't want to compete for the same resources, but I would go somewhere mid to the right part of the map.
Yeah.
And did Nili delete his own town center right there? Yeah, he did. Okay, maybe should have kept it up a little bit longer, but he's actually going to build it on the right side. Going to have tons of shorefish. Look at this little pond. That's actually would have been a good starting position for him. So I don't know. We'll see how far this sets Nili back. I believe this is still a victory for MBL. And we'll have to see based off their uptimes.
Let's see, MBL. Nili does have the one village advantage, but I mean, he's got so much to move on. Oh wow. Okay, now I'm seeing where he moved to with all those swordfish. Huh. Now, depending on how much of that Nili sees, this is gonna be it's gonna be great for him as far as resources go. All of a sudden,
it's a little interesting. I mean, it's such a great position for Nili, and their villager count is fairly even right now. I see it as just maybe a small, if anything, lead for MBL from the strategy, but not too huge in my opinion. Maybe he's got maybe 200-300 food more because of that boar, but not a huge advantage for MBL, I believe.
Yes, I'm trying to nitpick everything as far as res in the bank, what buildings they have up, and it's not that large of a difference.
Over on the south side, we had LB10 is going to be the first player to go up to the next age. And probably going to go with some galleys right away, but also building a barracks, so looking for something more aggressive. He's playing as the Malians. Their men-at-arms are pretty strong. And also they save some wood, so building barracks is not that big of an investment. All that wood savings, but LB10 is really going to go heavy on the water, and Nicov is still not into the next age. We'll be up in the next 10-15 seconds. So Nicov could potentially lose a lot of fishing here and lose water control very early on.
Alright, do we see anything? Oh, we do see a fire galley out for LB10. And if he pushes his advantage correctly, he'll just keep having more and more out faster. But he's not that far. Wait. Oh, I'm sorry.
When you're going with galley wars, when you're this close together, that 30-second difference is really huge. So I don't know if Nicov is even going to try to contest this. He might build a few fire galleys just to take out the fish of LB10, but I don't really see, with this advantage, Nicov really being able to seriously contest the water.
I see one fire galley, about 50% done for Nicov, and I didn't quite catch that LB10 had snuck a dock in there. I was counting docks incorrectly. I was thinking it was 1 versus 3, not 2 versus 2, right on top of each other.
As if Nicov didn't have any more problems. He's got a dock of LB10s in between his other 2 docks. And that would really not have worked if LB10 wasn't quicker up to the next age, but he was. And now even adding fishing ships already, that's a little bit, I don't like that idea, because Nicov can still, you know, add a fire galley here, and looks like he's going to go directly after that fishing ship right away. You still there, Willis?
Yes, sir. Yep, I'm still there, just making sure I'm working off of every queue you're working off. Yeah, I see Nicov, he's completely pushed out of here. Yes, those fishing ships are still alive. Oh, wow, LB10's even going around to hit MBL, who's very late to feudal because of the Persian douche strat. So LB10, if he's paying attention, he's about
Look
to
at this, Nili's first into the feudal age, actually.
Wait, of the 2... Oh, wow. I didn't really quite catch that good enough.
Yeah, just barely, though. But on the other hand, MBL's going to go for a fast castle, and Nili's going to go for a fast castle, too. So both these players are essentially right where they, you know, they're pretty identical. So surprisingly, that strategy really didn't have any impact on the game at all.
Okay. And I'd say LB10 while he's completely cleaned up Nikov's water, he forgot to leave anything at home to protect his own, and this one fire galley is going to go do a lot of damage.
Yeah, so kind of interesting this game. We've seen, you know, both players do damage, and everything equalizes in the end. We have both players in the north, same situation. Both players in the south, no fish. So that's pretty interesting aspect of this game, and it's a very even game so far.
Absolutely. So yes, oh wow, even MBL and Nili clicking up within a second of each other. Wait, and Nikov's putting towers on LB10 at the moment?
Trying to control maybe a little bit of that gold. He wanted to go for an outpost there and decided, hey, my opponent's right there, I might as well put up a tower, I believe. But LB10's going for archers of his own, so I think Nikov's going to go heavy into walling, play some defensive towers, and hopefully go conquistadors like we saw last game.
Okay. Yeah, man. I'd like to see something decisive a little bit quicker for them, because I believe MBL Nicov being in the better position to fight later on. I'd like to see LB10 do something sooner rather than later.
Well, it doesn't look like we're going to see any Sling this game. At least I hope not. A little bit late for Sling. LB10's really not that close to going up to the next age, so it is a possibility here. Luckily, it looks like he's able to keep all of his fishing alive, so, you know, that gives a good potential for going up to the next stage. Going to add a market now. We'll have to see what LB10 decides to do. Also has a lot of sheep there, so we'll have to see.
So we've also got, Nili and LB10 finally focusing on to MBL's fish there. And just going to be cleaning them all up finally. I don't know why they waited. They kind of just hung out near it, but there you go. MBL is now also off of fish.
I just saw the cruelest thing in the world. The villager in the south that built the dock for LB10 was walled in by Nicov, and then he was flamethrowered to death, burnt alive.
Oh, that's a shame.
And as you can see, all the palisades around are burning as well. That's by far the worst way I've seen a villager go out. Burned alive by a fire galley.
Definitely not something you see. Definitely something you see often enough, though. Don't want to see that too much.
But this game would have a different rating system then. Anyway, LB10 going to do a little bit. You can't really do too much with these towers here. So these archers not really paying off too much. Nicov going to go with the town center right away as he's just advanced to the castle age. And from Nicov, we should see a castle relatively shortly, but not really in the biggest hurry.
We see archers going around, but they can't really do much damage because of that tower. The other town center going up. They're walled out on that point. Yes, they'll break through this palisade, but it's not going to do too much at the moment.
There's a little monk in the north for MBL. I believe he's trying to convert some of these ships. Who knows how the hell that works in Age of Empires. Shouting words of God across the ocean over to your opponent. And, man, that's a convincing argument from the monk. Anyway, from the south, LB10. Is he up? He's up to the next age, finally. Nicov actually going with the siege workshop, so no castle for Nicov right now.
But doesn't quite have the stone, but he's got to. He's been in castle for so long. I hope this Mangano works out. I hope he goes over and hits LB10's TC pretty quickly and doesn't waste how much time he has. I think in total he had probably about 4 or 5 minutes game time advantage by the time LB10 will get to castle age.
Yeah. This is going to be maybe a critical part in this game. We have the Mangano. The Mangano will push back the archers. LB10 will get crossbow though, and if he's able to out micro the Mangano, then could potentially see another doubt castle from Nicov. So, or having to place a castle defensive if he wants to avoid the doubt castle. So we'll see if he's able to avoid some big Mangano shots from this Mangano as he tries to upgrade a crossbow.
Currently sees the siege workshop at the moment. So that could be bad. It's going to be a who sees who first kind of moment.
Yeah, LB10 could move his way to the north. Might get lucky here and actually see these villages of MBL as they're running away. Lucky for MBL, he actually didn't have a mining camp on that gold. If he did, those villagers would all be dead. And 2 villagers going to go down only.
Okay. I see. Okay. I just had to adjust my time a little bit to make sure I was doing the same as you. Okay. No problem. We were in about the exact same moment right now, 26:05.
So Nicov going up to 3 town centers. We'll get his castle down shortly, but has enough map presence with 2 mangonels to get his castle down wherever he wants. LB10, in the meantime, going to add siege workshop and universities for ballistics. So he's going to go up to 2 town centers, definitely going to be behind in economy, but we'll be able to put a little bit more pressure with these crossbows and hopefully do the damage. And currently going to try to do the damage on MBL.
Yeah, that's a great decision there. I can't hit Nicov, so let's go see what MBL's up to. And I think it's going to be pretty effective here. Coming in, hitting the first villager now. Oh, and having to turn away because of the TC.
Look at these mangonels though from Nicov coming across the entire map just to get to the north. These crossbows could potentially be, you know, sandwiched here in the base, and be able to get some quick walls up. So these crossbows are not going to be able to run that way, and this could be huge for Nicov if he's able to kill off these crossbows. Because if he kills these crossbows, then Nicov will also have the superior economy.
So with all this focus, what's Nili up to? Is Nili going Eagles, or is that just his scout? Oh no, Nili is going Eagle Warriors.
Just a few for map control, I think, just to get some scouting on. You know, Nomad is such a variable map that scouting could be extremely important. 2 demos from MBL, actually. So those crossbows really have nowhere to run. Where are they going to go? 2 villains, though. That's nice.
I mean, they've got to try, but their path's blocked, so I think it's just do as much damage as possible. And wow. MBL let 3 villagers die. I'm going to say kind of unnecessarily there.
A little bit. Those crossbows have ballistics. They're very deadly. Going to kill another few villagers. And yeah, nice shots there. But those crossbows got some damage out.
Oh, absolutely.
So able to do something there. But I would still say Nicov a little bit ahead right now compared to LB10 in the villager department. No, actually, it's pretty even.
Actually, no. I'm looking at the overlay right now. It's
pretty even.
It's just about as close as it gets with LB10 and Nili combined. Just under 10 villagers over Nicov and MBL.
MBL going for the feudal age watchtowers. It actually in great position here. Going to secure some stone. Yes. Going to secure a hill, and also going to annoy the town center of Nili.
So let's see. What's their next move? Well, Nili's dropping another barracks, so maybe he is thinking I'm going to go full into Eagles.
Well, we don't see any stable or even barracks up for MBL, so MBL is going to go up to the next age before, you know, even making any military, most likely, you know, relying on these mangonels for now. So we'll see if MBL can do the damage now. Sorry, if Nili will be able to do the damage now, or if you know, if he's not, then MBL may be able to tech up to maybe you know, Cavalier or whatever later on in the game. But right now, just going for the guard tower upgrade and going to stay defensive.
Alright, I'm seeing Nili. He's about halfway up to Imp as we speak. And I believe he'll be our, he will be our first player there.
Ah, Nili's already up. My bad. I thought he was stuck in the Castle Age, but Eagle's so damn cheap. And Nili's done a great job this game, despite having to move his town center early. And should be able to take out these mangonels and guard tower. We'll see if we see any quick walls. And it doesn't look like it's coming in. So these Eagles will be able to do a little damage. No upgrades on them quite yet, though.
I believe I saw 2 upgrades coming. Yes, I saw, but not all of them.
Yeah, but still Eagle Scouts, not the Eagle Warrior.
Oh, Eagle Warriors. Oh, that's questionable. I'm trying to think if between Feudal and Castle Age, does their creation time go down, or do they need
That's the big one, yeah. It's creation time, 5 HP, 1 attack, and 1 Pierce Armor.
Pierce Armor, yeah, and the creation time goes from something crazy from like...
from 60 to 35.
Yeah, that's a really big deal right there.
It kind of begs the question why with all these resources, Nili hasn't clicked the research yet. He's got so much resources in the bank, enough to upgrade to Elite Eagle right now. But looks like wood is the resource that he's really lacking right now. I see basically no lumberjack villagers, and you know, no barracks up right now. So Nili might have to buy a little bit of wood here.
A little bit of misplay from Nili there. He had 4 or 5 Eagle Warriors sitting underneath those 2 towers getting picked off to the point that the villagers kind of left freely. He should have just went back and not wasted that.
And there we go. Finally researching the Eagle Warrior upgrade. He could have had a lot more Eagles out at this time, though, if he focused more on wood. This is what Age of Empires is about. It's about you know, using your resources correctly and having a good economy to support what you're doing. And that can sometimes slow you down. You know, and that can make or break games sometimes. But Nili, gonna get up some more of those buildings and hopefully get a bigger mass of units. However, this is buying a little bit of time for MBL, as MBL is able to hang in there. Luckily, Nili gonna go with a dog, so maybe try to transport a little bit though.
Nili's trebbing down the castle of Nicov. They put castles pretty close to each other, and without Nicov and Castle Age, or Nicov and Imperial Age, this TC is gonna go down, and There's no Imperial Age for Nicov in sight at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, Nicov this game really hasn't he hasn't boomed like he he thought he was going to with the early town centers. Hasn't done any damage this game, other than picking off those crossbows. But
losing a TC right now.
What is it?
Yikes! Just lost a TC right now as you said that. That's yikes! Yeah. Yikes for Nicov.
Nikov's really not looking good. Once again, Nili and LB10 a little bit the underdogs, but really doing they're a great job in this game to have a great chance at winning it. Currently, do the scores on Nomad just lie, or is this game really that out of hand? It's a 1,500 point difference.
I wonder. Well, actually, if we look at I wonder if it's a scouting thing because Nili was forced to scout so much more of the map.
It's really a ridiculous difference if you were to look at that on Arabia. GG's would have been called 20 minutes ago, but this is still a very close game. We'll see. The Persians are a very versatile civ. I'm going to check over to MBL's resources. Nothing in the bank, but we'll see.
Wow.
If you can get chemistry up, that would be certainly very strong. And luckily, these eagles can't come in too fast because of the walls. They'll have to transport over.
But Garland Wars coming in for Nili, so those elite Eagle Wars are going to continue to get stronger and stronger.
Yeah, they're really pack a punch. Cavalier being upgraded for MBL though. Almost no upgrades on these Cavalier. This might be actually a GG moment. These Eagles are just too strong. MBL really has no resources in the bank. Nikov's not looking so good either. And pretty soon we'll have LB10 in this game as well.
Wow, Nicov currently. Oh wait, 1 TC. He's had to completely relocate, but his castle and 3 TC. Oh, wait, there's one more there. 2 TCs and a castle trip down, I believe. Maybe 3 TCs.
Yeah, Nicov just trying to defend a little bit with his Conquistadors, with his Scorpion, with his Mangonel, but the Eagles are going to go everywhere here. And this looks like classic AOC. When the Aztecs were so strong when they got into Imperial Age and just were able to raid everything. And it looks like they're about to do this now.
Well, it's just so messy. Do you know how to defend against, one eagle everywhere in your base when they're just spread out?
You just need you just need one Cavalier everywhere in your base also.
Yeah. I was going to say the correct answer is you don't. It's like, I'm going to say StarCraft Zerg Rush, except they're strong.
Uh-huh. Yeah, they're very cheap, only relying on gold. Sometimes that could be a problem, but it's not really a problem when you have all of the gold access in the world. So, yeah, Nili's really just going to keep hitting the spam, doesn't need to transition to anything. Just gotta, keep pumping those units out, and he should do A-okay here. Conquistadors, they're a gunpowder unit, sure, but they don't always do the best versus infantry like the hand cannon would. So, these players really don't have a good counter to them.
So I wonder, I guess they're banking on MBL's Cavalier being the difference maker here.
Yeah, theoretically should be able to counter the Eagles, but the thing is, the economies and also the upgrades. MBL's only a 90 population. It's very hard to make such an expensive unit like the Cavalier in the same mass as the Eagle Warrior. You get so much more with the Eagle Warrior right now with those upgrades.
Sorry, I'm losing you a little bit there, but it's not your fault. There we go. Sorry, I was having a little bit of headset issue there. Oh wow, those Cavaliers coming in to clean up every single treb. And they will.
Yeah, now might be the point where you call GG. Now the scores look pretty accurate. But, and what do you think are some of the closing thoughts on this game? There you go, there's the GG right now.
GG. Closing thoughts are Eagle Raids still continue to be one of the messiest, hardest things to defend.
Especially if you're ahead. I'm surprised that douche really didn't do a hell of a lot there. I mean, it's even arguable that it might have set back MBL a little bit more than it did Nili. But that really surprised me.
So we were doing our best to keep track of that, and while we were in it, when I said I was looking at every minute difference, the only real difference was MBL was up by about 60 wood, had a house, and a mill. Other than that, they were identical to each other. I don't know if you want to even say that's effective.
I did a little bit of something, but hard to say. Obviously, LB10 taking a little bit of advantage on the water, which certainly helped. Nicov not able to really get a good boom going, didn't get that castle up, and that's probably due to the harassment of LB10 and the harassment from water as well, from the crossbows also. So that early aggression really paying off, and MBL not really getting enough of a boom either against Nili, which was able to do pretty well with his eagle rings. That's pretty much the tail of the tape there. And just being pushed further and further into the corner there. But overall, very good game. It's now 1-1, and we'll move on to game 3, where, we'll see if Nili and LB10 can be able to take a second game there.
That would, yeah. Well, while we boot up the next game, did you see if LB10 was slinging? I didn't catch that.
He had very low resources, so I wouldn't be surprised, but it was a 3-town center sling. I think I already exit. Oh, let's check the sling right now. Yeah, he did send 9,000 resources, so that makes sense, especially you go against an Eagle raid, but most of that was probably once those 3-town centers were already up. So Nili had a little bit of advantage, but just was able to, really, what is it called, snowball it. Get all those upgrades and get a good mass up. Here we go. Hello everyone, and welcome to Game 3 in this matchup between LB10 and Nili versus MBL and Nicov. This is the round of 16. This is Game 3. Score currently is tied up at 1-1, and I'm joined here by my co-caster Willis. My name is Nobody, and welcome everybody to the stream and onto YouTube if you're watching this on YouTube. So this game is a choose civilization. The civilizations you have to choose from are... Well, I have Tunisians and Koreans, so maybe I got my settings a little bit mixed up here, but regardless, let's introduce some of the players. Over on the right side, we have, these players are on the same team. We have MBL playing as the Koreans, and in blue, we have Nicov playing as the Students. And without further ado, Willis, you can take away for the other team.
The other team, in teal, we've got LB10 playing as the Koreans, and I believe Nili playing as the Teutons. So, was it an intentional mirror? Or they just knew what they wanted and the pros know better.
I'm not exactly sure. I must have mixed up the settings a little bit, but I guess we'll roll with it. Maybe I check the settings afterwards. But yeah, give me a second.
Well, while nobody's checking that out, that is one extremely close placement for Nicov and MBL. And over here, but we'll check out what Nili's doing. He's got an okay patch.
I wonder how much they talked about it for those. Sometimes in Nomad, there's different, Nomad pros might have a little bit different philosophy as to where to place your town center. Some people might say just place your town center anywhere, just place it quickly, because then you can get the villagers out quicker. And some other players would say, go for the ideal optimal position. And I have the feeling that the players, chose to place their town centers very quickly in this situation. And we'll see if they have to compete for resources here, or this will be a good idea. Can definitely go either way.
I wish I could have noticed at the spawn, because it might have just been that MBL was spawned on wood and gold and saw it. Nicov saw that he spawned on wood and 2 boars and rolled with that.
As you can see from their points of view, neither player has a lot of scouting, so I'm guessing they did just place their town centers down and decided, hey, it's too late to delete it now, so might as well finish it up. So we'll have to see. We saw in the sling game in game 1 that being far apart could be a disadvantage, but also in game 2 that their positions were not the greatest either, the losing team, because they had less and less map to work with. So we'll have to see. Overall, which player position do you prefer in this game, between Nili's team or Nikov's team?
I'd have to go with Nili's team, just because I'm going to say Nicov and MBL are too close together. While I would like it, and maybe in a noob game it would help out, for the pros, they're going to be a little too clustered at the moment.
I think I would agree with that. It looks like Nicov does not have a really good goal to go to. Well, he could go north a little bit, but I think, that's the perfect distance between LB10 and Nili. They'll be able to build out a little bit more. Obviously, space might be a little bit of a problem for MBL, as the north doesn't have a whole lot of space. There's actually a lot of ponds and a lot of water coming in here. So if you want space to farm, that might not be the best area.
I will say with their two with Nikov's and MBL's location though, as far as grabbing extra food sources with those two boars, sheep, deer versus LB10s and Nili's nothing, they're doing way better in that sense of it.
Yeah, certainly a lot more food there. I just noticed MBL actually able to lame the boar though of MBL, and that villager's going to walk back with his 35 food. All the way back to MBL's town center. All the players have their docks up, of course. Nomad's, of course, a hybrid map, so we always see a lot of water and land control on both of them. Nili being a little bit slower, getting his fishing ships out, but that's a-okay. And does Nicov even have a dock right? Yeah, he does. It's over in the back right. It's just blending in a little bit. So all players on the water right now.
Oh wow! And with speaking about the docks. LB10s and MBLs are right on top of each other. So again, we're going to see as much as you want to hit somebody else's fish, it will be absolutely forced in this game that somebody will need to come out on top in that location in the west corner of the map here, as far left as you can go.
So maybe you're thinking the same thing that I'm thinking, but what really strikes you about these civilizations?
I'm going to put on a different set of headphones. This one's kind of losing you every now and again.
Do you need a minute? All right. I'm going to ask that question to myself, and the first thing that I think of when I think of these civilizations is towers, usually. Students having a lot of tower bonuses, the Koreans having a lot of tower bonuses. This is, you know, the Koreans will get, you know, nerfed a little bit in the next patch, but this is not the next patch, certainly. But that said, these players are so far away from each other that maybe towers are not as viable. Second thing that I think about when I think about these civilizations is I think about late game potential. We see Paladins possibly and Great Siege from the Teutons, Great Siege and War Wagons from the Koreans. So these will be more interesting civilizations as the game gets rolling. And with how far away these players are from each other, assuming we don't see like a, you know, an all-out disaster or like a one-sided victory on the water, then this game should go to late game, and you know, hopefully get to see some great battles over them. So certainly not as aggressive as the last game where the players were right on top of each other. And just let me know when you're back in, Willis, and we'll get back.
I'm here. Just move, and we're gonna be good. So here's something that I'd say is, if you look at Nikov's point of view, he hasn't scouted the center of the map where MBL is now telling him to. Oh, MBL's telling him to wall. Oh, that's unfortunate. There's 3 large stone piles and a gold pile there, and I was actually hoping they would make sure to control that rather than wall it off.
Yeah, all of these players, with the exception of Nili, not getting great scouting information on the map. So Nili's really the only one that has a better idea of what the map looks like. He's actually gone really heavy on food with the deer here, and should have a decent uptime with that. But I would not be surprised to see these players contesting for the water early on, and you know, see how they do there.
All right, so have we seen Nili's and Nikov's water? I believe, yeah, that would take a lot of effort for them to hit each other, and I think MBL might be preemptively not all that concerned. He's built another dock, and I think he'll just be getting fish over here instead.
So LB10 is going to be the first into the feudal age. I'm thinking with the how slow the other players are, they'll be going for fast castles here. And LB10 is got to do the damage right now. Get out his fire galleys. He's got... well, actually, he's docked right next to LB10. Sometimes it's so hard on Nomad because players, you know, docks and town centers are all over the place. But he's actually going to be able to do some good damage here with MBL. Only two fishing ships here for MBL. He's actually sent the other one north. But regardless, that fire galley would be able to do some good damage. But MBL definitely needs to do the... sorry, LB10 needs to definitely do the damage here if he wants to, you know, reduce the power of these other players' fast castles.
Oop, I'm just checking towers, and we're pretty good on each other. Yep, so LB10 dropping in a tower, and MBL is gonna fight that down with villagers.
LB10 was trying to use the trees as palisades, and you can't do that in expert play because they'll just chop them right down in an instant. But what I did mention when you were away, these civilizations do love their towers, and I didn't think we'd see it because these players are so far away from each other. But LB10 with the Koreans, too strong to avoid, and gonna go with the towers. So here we go. Looks like it'll be unsuccessful for LB10 though.
It's going to get battered down. While he can keep repairing, it's not really doing any damage, so I'd say it'll be battered down, and it's kind of just the loss of villager time.
Yeah, this should not have happened. Oh, and he's even going to get walled in, too. Oh, that's so bad. But I don't think this should have happened for LB10. When you get your first tower up, it's like Tower Wars 101, is you want your first tower to be kind of secret, and the second tower, then you could really get aggressive on that. But LB10 choosing a very, very aggressive tower, especially against the Koreans, which have added extra line of sight on their villagers. So this was just a big mistake from LB10 and a big miscalculation that'll set him behind 4 villagers.
Oh, yep. All those villagers going down, walled in. There's nowhere to go.
Yeah, as they're stuck there at the edge of the map, that's a big loss for LB10, and you don't want to be having those big losses early in the game. However, LB10 able to take away some of the fish. But that said, MBL did move 3 of his fishing ships, so I do like MBL's position better than LB10 still. As we see with Koreans all the time, you lose your tower war, you lose 3 villages, you go for another one. But LB10 doing the same thing he did last time, and he's being too aggressive, and MBL's already seen it and already gone up with another tower.
I believe LB10's going to go up first, though, because he's going to get 5... Oh. Okay. Just making sure I'm not too far ahead here. I think we're on time. I'm at 18:10. Yourself?
I'm at 18 right now.
Okay, so just that's why it sounded a little bit funny. LB10's getting up his they're both gonna have 1 tower up in that stone area, and I'm glad to see MBL and Nicov moving out to it, because that's what I was worried about. I was like, okay, don't make sure you lock down all those extra resources. They are close enough that there's not really an excuse not to.
Yeah, Nicov into the next age. Nikov's actually going with knights right now. No upgrades yet, but that's going to force LB10 to be quite idle on a few resources as he has to wall them in inefficiently. And they'll have to repair that. So Nikov's going to try to do a little bit of damage. He'll need to get an armor before going in under the town center. But great position already for Nicov and MBL in this game.
Let's see, no answer from LB10 specifically, but Nili's coming in with 2 knights. Let's see. Also, no upgrades. But we've got armor coming in from Nili right now, so depending on if Nicov takes the fight or not, we'll lose these 2 knights. Oh, but there's 2 more coming in at the same time. So
that's how it works when you're 30 seconds faster, into the next stage. But both the Tunes players going into knights, and we'll have to see what kind of uptime that MBL is able to make. Should be a little bit faster. Here he goes. He's going up to the next stage now. And heavy on stone, so maybe we see a castle and war wagons? We'll have to see.
He's sending putting a tower on that stone that LB10 was mining right now.
Yeah, just to make sure those villagers go down. It's also going to be great stone control. I mean, that's basically, well, LB10 has another stone in the back, but that'll be some dead villagers there as Nili moves out just at the wrong time. And those knights able to get some free shots on those lumberjacks. At least use the villagers for fodder, I guess.
Wait, LB10 also moving forward. Does LB10 have enough stone for a castle? No.
Well, LB10's in the feudal age right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant to say Nicov. My bad.
Nicov?
He went in extremely forward TC. Don't know how to think about that one.
Well, it's got some good resources there. It's got all 4 resources, so it's got that going for him. But I guess he just wants to move. He's got the map control right now, and wants to be able to, get some more map control and also, move away from his ally in MBL. So I think it makes a lot of sense.
Yes. And so MBL's going more, wanted to drop more towers, but those villagers are getting pushed back by Nili's knights. Nili's going to be first to bloodlines.
Yeah, the Bloodlines upgrade is certainly very important, Knight on Knight Wars. I think more important than the armor attack, in my opinion. But nice small walling from LB10. It's going to delay those villagers quite a bit. And even Nili going to be able to pick off a few of these villagers here. Maybe 2? Not really, though. Those Knights are kind of weak with that +1 attack upgrade. It actually makes a big difference when going against villagers. And now Nili could even lose a few of his Knights. That's not looking very nice for him.
Yeah, going under that tower with all those other knights there. Yeah, they're gonna get a lot of damage on them.
It's a lot of damage. Anyway, guard tower upgraded automatically for MBL, and he's gonna go just with a few town centers for now. I don't see a castle, and just gonna continue with the guard towers. You know, why go with castle when you can continue making guard towers? Says the Koreans. So I guess that makes sense.
Did MBL move over and clean up all of Nili's fishing? Oh no, he made him leave. Okay. That's what happened.
Yeah, Nili's moving his fishing, but it's not looking good for their team at all. I mean, better knight numbers for Nicov, better economy for Nicov. MBL certainly doing better than LB10 right now. We see Nicov picking off 3 more villagers of LB10. Who knows if LB10 is going to be able to make it to the next stage even? Or if he's just going to resort to slinging, which probably won't be very effective.
I'm trying to think. Every game we've cast so far this morning, though, the looks haven't meant anything. But oh well, there's the sling right after you say it.
Yeah, they have no other option, but you don't want to sling a player that's already behind. You don't want to have to sling Nili in this situation. How much damage can he really do? Well, I mean, we'll have to see. It's certainly gonna, they think it could give them a good chance in this game, but I'm just a little bit skeptical with these Korean guard towers and all those other advantages that we already mentioned before.
MBL continuing to just put tower after tower in. Not each one of these towers is necessarily effective. It does close down any escape routes and lets them keep putting tower. Now it's going to be right on top of that market. Going to hit farms, maybe range that gold after an upgrade or 2.
Do you think this might be a situation where maybe MBL might want to sling Nicov?
Yes, I think because he's so much into towers. Towers are about to be ineffective unless he really does them right.
Well, I disagree a little bit on that. I think MBL can sling Nicov, and Nicov can make a stronger army and to really compete against Nili, but also at the same time continue to make his guard towers, by mining stone. So I think it's able to be doubly effective for that reason.
Oh, I didn't. Okay, so you're saying he can pull off both?
Yeah, I think so. But like investing food and wood into things for Koreans probably not going to be as great when going against Paladin, unless he wants to go into like pikemen. If you go into pikemen, then there's really nothing the Tunans can do unless they want to go hand cannons, but hand cannons don't tend to be the best for sling.
Nili doing his best to try to pick off a villager or 2 before MBL notices. He gets 1. He might get a 2nd.
Yeah, but it's so hard with those guard towers. I think, especially with ballistics on them, when that comes in, I really don't think those knights are going to be able to do too much.
Ooh, and Nicov has a monk out. Is that because of knights or because he's collecting relics? I think it's because he's collecting relics.
Yeah. Regardless, Nili able to get a few villager kills, try to even it up a little bit. LB10's obviously only on 30 villagers, and it looks like Nili should be able to get another, oh boy, this is going to be close. Should be able to get another 4 villagers up in the north, but that tower will be up for MBL also, and that could be a little dicey for LB10, maybe even set him back even further.
So looking at the villagers numbers, we've got 83 for Nicov, 43 for MBL, while we go over to the other team, we've got 49 for Nili and 30 for LB10. But Nili's going up to Imp.
Yeah, so Nili's going to be really a force in a second here. I'm going to go over to Nikov's point of view. And Nicov is pretty close to going to Imp, I must say. Especially if you can get a little bit more resources. Oh, there we go. He's just invested into Knights, though. So at this point, with no sling coming in onto Nicov, and Nicov investing really heavy into the Castle Age, maybe Nili can do something here. I don't know. If he can get Cavalier, Nili obviously has a lot more knights at this stage, but that question again comes to what can he do against Korean guard towers? Can he really be as aggressive as he needs to be?
Well, I think the sling's going to be the only thing to help him, and as we say that, MBL builds a castle on LB10. Continue to tighten and tighten that stranglehold on his base. Almost in range of the
This
CC.
sling can't be that effective because LB10 is just so dead. Only 30 villagers, right. And look at all these knights just waiting here, waiting to do the damage, waiting to go in their Teutonic Crusade, I suppose, and you know, be able to take it to LB10. So I think that Nili's going to have to run over here. Unfortunately, the Teutons do not get MBL. What? Unfortunately, the Teutons don't get husbandry, so that makes it harder for Nili to be able to come over and defend his ally. And yeah, this raid is going to be absolutely devastating.
LB10 idling just about everything.
Yeah, more towers coming up. It's looking so bad for LB10. This is all up to Nili. I don't think Knights alone is going to be able to do it. If MBL could maybe get a lot of Rams in here, then he could really, you know, really do some damage there. But he's got to wait for that Cavalier upgrade for now. And unfortunately, LB10's going to have to run. Let's see how many villagers he loses in this run back. He's gone down to 30 villagers now. It's going to get lower and lower.
I'm seeing 23, another tower about to drop. The stone miners surprisingly have been untouched for a lot longer than I think I would have allowed. Oh, they haven't actually scouted that. They see a piece of wall, but not the miners. Huh.
Huh. Well, they're going to see it in about a second as MBL gets his tower up, building it with 10 villagers, it would seem. Can't even fit that many villagers around a tower. But,
so I think I gotta say, Nili's probably waiting for the Cavalier upgrade. See if he can do enough damage, and let's say.
Well, finally, Nili's getting his first siege workshop up. It's late, in my opinion, as MBL is just going to tower the siege workshop. So that's one way to deal with siege. Make sure you tower the siege workshops. But right now, Nicov is actually going to add some barracks of his own. So I feel like this should work. Just play defensive. You know, play with knights, play with pikemen behind towers, and I don't see anything that Rams and Cavalier can do against that. On the one hand, we have Nicov still in the castle. Well, going up to Imperial now. Not too much army for him, but I think it should be enough to defend, and if they have enough to defend, then, you know, then we should see MBL come into the game as well and really help out his ally here.
I'd like to put more weight on these Cavalier from Nili, but he's Nicov still has 40 more villagers than him, so he's going to be able to put out enough knights to deal with it.
Yeah, it just goes again to that strength of those towers. They're just, man, they're strong. They're not going to be able to do too much until they get in here, but we'll see if, you know, maybe Nicov won't be able to mass enough pikemen. You know, maybe Nili can, you know, add more siege workshops, add more rams, get the ironclad upgrade on his battering rams, which will make them very resistant to pikemen, and go from there, and try to do some damage from there. As of now, we have LB10 running in the back of Nili's base, and probably will drop down a town center somewhere there. As the tower creep continues, you know, even if LB10 and Nili are able to maintain their position, you know, for the next 10-20 minutes, even if they're able to do that, there's still so much map control from these towers, so much map control from Nicov, and it's going to be hard to compete for resources later on in the game.
So if you are MBL and Nicov, what do? I'm thinking, if I'm MBL,
you're MBL and Nicov, you do anything and you probably still win. But what you should do is you should do. I would go Haub. Eventually, once you have enough Haubs, once you feel confident for Nicov, then you add some Cavalier. If you're MBL, just keep adding the towers, then go from there. I don't see any reason not to do anything other than towers.
And I just saw the GG on my side.
There we go, GG. You're like going to call it GG as his 3 rams come in and they get taken out by the pikemen. GG.
Okay. That's what I was wondering.
So a little bit more of a one-sided game this time. Unusual spawn positions, but the biggest thing that I saw early game, LB10 losing those 4 villagers early on, ineffective towers, and also Nili and LB10 losing their fish early on. And when you put those two things together, it's not looking so good. And they were able to capitalize from there. Nicov able to get up to the next age faster, get more knights out faster, and win that battle against Nili. And also MBL able to do some damage with his towers, putting LB10 behind, forcing LB10 to sling Nili, and Nili not being able to do the damage with Cavalier against all those defenses. Any final thoughts on this game?
Not towards the end. The end played out as it should have. At the beginning, or in early feudal, LB10 could have been a lot better with dropping that tower rather than going almost to the back of MBL's base to do it. And then he did it pretty unsuccessfully. So that could have been a changing moment. But other than that, it was just it was very good play by Nicov and MBL.
All right, so we'll head on to game 4. This was game 3 in this best of 5. My name is Nobody, and that was Willis, and I'll see you in the next game. Hello, everyone, and welcome to game 4 in the Nomad Battlegrounds tournament. This is a $1,500 tournament, 10 seconds, and I am here with Willis today. My name is Nobody, and this has been a pretty good series so far. We have Nicov and MBL versus LB10 and Nili. Some really good games in the series. If you haven't seen the earlier games, I do recommend you check them out. And I'm going to introduce the first team here. We have Nicov playing as the Mongols and his ally this game, MBL, playing as the Turks. Take it away.
And on the other team, we have LB10 playing as the Mongols with his ally Nili, also as the Turks. I wonder if it is if it's purposely mirrored, I just know it that well. Very early game luck here from Nicov, ends up walking right past where LB10 was building his TC.
Yeah, so able to see that early on. That's always nice. So we have a north-south kind of configuration. Which positions do you prefer?
Put a thought to it. I don't see too much swordfish. So them himself, MBL's got one heck of a starting spot as far as wood, gold, and food come by. Can we say the same for Nicov? Not so much, but he'll be able to dock pretty easily.
Yeah, Nikov's gold a little bit further out. That gold could actually be contested by LB10. LB10, no resources around him whatsoever. So yeah, I would put a clear advantage for MBL and Nikov's team.
And Nili's spot is
pretty decent. He's got food there. Has some gold too. Stone is a little bit far away, but that's okay. But I would give a clear advantage to MBL and Nikov's team. I like them being able to dock these these ponds. A lot of fish for them. Won't have to walk too far for their docks, and also those starting resources are closer. Just might be a little bit of a problem for Nicov getting his resources, but if they are able to secure those, then should be better positions.
I wish I would have started with anybody else first other than MBL, because that kind of skewed how I looked at everybody else's base. That's about as good as it gets, I believe.
And look at Nicov. Remember, you said earlier on, Nicov going right past LB10's town center. He's going to take advantage of that right away and steal that boar. Right from under LB10's nose.
Wow, and then let's see, what are LB10's options from there? There might be one more boar to find, but it is very far away.
Lucky for LB10, he's gotten the Mongols here, though. With any other civilization, he might be in a really tough time, but he's got 4 deer there. He'll be able to collect that food very quickly, and hopefully we'll be able to get up to the next age in a reasonable time. But without that bonus, man, he would be in a ton of trouble.
Wow, he's gonna go out for that far boar. I wonder if he's gonna use the sheep to help block it all here. I don't know if
I think you can get that without loom, yeah, especially with the sheep blocking. But maybe we see a misplay from LB10 too. That can possibly happen.
He did just get loom, so I think.
Okay, there we go. Maybe having a little trouble on food too, also. But he's gonna get that boar. We see LB10's dock is actually in the top side. Oftentimes on Nomad, you see the docks in completely random positions compared to the town centers. And Nikov's going to dock in the front too, so they're so close to each other that you know, it really depends on these uptimes. And LB10 getting his fishing ship out a little bit sooner, that's nice for him. But at the same time, LB10's maybe a villager or two behind. And he might lose it to a boar, might lose to the boar! Oh, he's lost a villager to the boar. I did mention before we could see a mistake from LB10, and there you go, there's the mistake. Man, when you're 2 villagers behind already and you lose another one, man, that sucks.
Well, let's see. And is he up against? Yes, he's up against the other Mongols player. So, what answers a mirror matchup is just playing better than the other person, or maybe situational map things. And none of those are looking good for LB10 at the moment.
Maverick Aryan. I haven't seen Jeanette in a long time. Haven't talked to him in a long time. And Katsuni casts on here still very frequently. But this is a community channel, so we have a lot of casters on here. This is Willis's first time. I've been a long-time caster on this channel a year or two back. So welcome to the channel. We'll be active more often. Back into the game, we have Nili over in the South Dock and MBL over in the South Dock as well, so they'll be competing against each other. Certainly, as far as dock positions go, players are kind of separate from each other. And, you know, once again, we should see a little bit of battle for the war. Battle for the water.
I'm okay with battling for the war. It might take
well,
longer, but we can do that.
It goes without saying, I suppose.
So I think what could help LB10 right now, not that they're omniscient about the map here, but they're pointing out that pawn could be very good for MBL and LB10, or MBL and Nicov. If LB10 takes water up here, that could be what puts the game in their favor.
Yeah, that pond, that's a good point. That pond is so close to Nicov and MBL's town centers. Also, the pond is right in between, so they won't be able to really reconvene forces. That could be a very good, you know, strategic area to take advantage of. But first, I'm hoping LB10 has the resources for it. He's a little bit behind. Maybe if he garrisons these villages with the deer, in conjunction with those fishing ships that were out early, maybe he could have a good uptime here with the Mongols.
Ooh, looking at food, I think
Nicov should be up a little bit faster,
yeah. Well, LB10 maybe coming.
Oh, LB10's first. Okay, good. So LB10 will have a little bit of advantage on the water there. Nikov's economy is looking a little bit better. Nicov may even choose to go for a fast castle here. Who knows? Because he's walling up a bit. Still has a lot of resources going. Well, he's going to go to feudal age now. But going to put a little resources into walling this up.
Well, LB10 may have clicked, 6 seconds faster, but he is 5 villagers behind Nicov.
Yeah, it's going to be rough. You know another thing that might be rough for him? He can't add another dock in this north side because his dock is so far away. He could maybe add dock in this pond if he thinks about it. But no, he's going to send 5 villagers on the right, actually, and they might deny this wall. They might deny this wall for Nicov.
Do you think he's thinking towers?
With five villagers is a good number for towers. I would not be surprised, especially with Nikov's resource placement. I'm sure he's surprised to see these early walls. Let's see if he decides to commit past these walls, because Nicov could send some more villagers, and doesn't look like he's going to commit. Is he going to follow this villager all the way to the town center, though? Oh, dumb villager. Oh, no, she's going to go back. Okay.
So Nicov deciding to batter his way through. I don't know why he turned his 5 villagers around when he could have just...
I think the reason for that is it could be a trap that could get walled up easily. As you can see, 2 villagers are already getting walled in. Luckily, Nicov doesn't have scouting on those villagers, so hasn't sent some villagers to go attack them yet. But that can always be a trap if you go in behind someone's walls. So it's easier to go in straight through the front.
Okay. We'll see somewhat of a tower war here. LB10's going up slightly sooner.
And I see no battle for the water on either side, really.
Yeah.
Which is surprising. Nili and MBL just getting up now, so not that surprising, but no water control in the north.
You know what? LB10 doesn't know how close... Nicov doesn't know how close LB10 is. LB10 might be able to assume LB10's on water that direction, but neither of them making fire galleys at the moment.
Yeah, scouting is so important on Nomad. It's more important on Nomad than any other map. Can really make or break games. The players right now don't know how close they are to each other with their docks. And yeah, if they did, they'd definitely invest into a fire galley or two. And in fact, LB10 gonna idle one of his fishing ships to get some scouting information and maybe see that dock.
I hope. What's the range on a fishing ship? Because I'd
Line of
love
sight? I don't know.
the line of sight.
Not that much.
Oh yeah.
Unless you're Italians.
It's almost like yes, it helps, but it's double-edged swords because now Nicov knows as well.
Yeah. Anyway, tower rush for LB10 not being effective at all. Not really able to get in. Oh, that's LB10's gate, surprisingly, but there's the tower coming up there. This is... Oh, are we going to see another LB10 tower throw as he's starting to build a watchtower next to the completed watchtower of Nicov? Oh, no, no, no! Nicov is going to put a gate there! Oh, no!
What? Oh, I gotta catch up. Oh.
You're missing out on the action.
Oh, I'm missing it. I'm missing it.
I'm at
Oh, my
16-10.
goodness.
But this could be another 6 villager throw from
man.
LB10. LB10, you gotta stop doing this, man. So, once again, mentioned before that possibility of a trap, and we did see that trap come in from Nicov. As those villagers will get battered down as well. And, man, that's so unfortunate.
What do you do? I guess, well, he's doing what he is. He's just running with those villagers to try to idle MBL or Nikov's as long as possible. But now he's 7? No, only 1 villager behind somehow after all of that? How'd that happen?
Well, Nicov is up to the castle age, so that's 3 villagers, you know,
Oh, okay.
potential of town center time right there. So not looking good at all for LB10 and Nili. Once again, LB10 throwing away 6 villagers on the tower rush.
LB10 making a transport ship. He's going to try to transport these 3 villagers away.
It's worth it if you could save them. I mean, they're all pretty low, but it's definitely worth it if you can save them. I should be able to save all 3 of them, so that's something at least. But it's looking...
Oh, he's not paying attention, though. I think he's going to lose maybe 1. Oh, wait. They might...
Well, who do you save first? You have to save the low one first, hopefully. 10 HP. It looks like all 3 will get away in that transport ship. So at least, you know, that's something right there. Nicov up to the next age. We've seen in previous games him not really being able to make use of the fast castle. And it looks like he's actually going to go for a castle right now as he's got 500 stone in the bank.
Is LB10 going to try to land? Yep, he's going to land 1 villager and hope Nicov doesn't see it, but Nicov totally saw it with that mill.
Well, yeah, he's reacting to it. So going to be able to react to that appropriately. Let's check back on the other players because we haven't said a lot about them
LB10.
so far.
Don't get wrecked.
Over in in Water Wars, over in the water, it looks like MBL is taking control of the water, which is great for his team because Nikov's winning on that side, arguably.
I do question that MBL went straight into galleys. How do you feel about that in the current meta?
I feel like that is appropriate if you can get away with it, and also if the distance between you and your opponent is larger, then galleys can potentially be stronger if you can mass them nice and, you know, good.
Okay.
So maps like Migration definitely favor galleys, or if you have docks far away from each other, can favor galleys. And yeah.
So Nili did a lot of blaming on MBL as far as walling in stone, walling in gold.
Yeah, and he's got the castle up too. Janissary is probably one of the strongest Castle Age unique units in the game. For all the shit the Turks get, their unique unit is pretty damn strong. And you know, MBL's gonna have a really tough time defending from these Janissaries, as his wood, his gold is hittable by that those 8 range Janissaries.
Oh wow! And MBL's about a minute and a half away from castle, and that's just this is gonna Nili's gonna have so much time to put in this damage.
On the bright side, should help even up this game, as Nili can do a lot of damage over onto MBL. MBL's at 350 stone right now. Is he mining stone right now, actually?
Wait, Nili's on his way to Imp.
Oh, man! I'm excited about that.
What?
Turkish fast Imp, yeah.
He has 27 vills.
Yeah, but maybe he got some food from that fishing before they died.
Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, right.
Yeah, this is that's bare bones. That's a bare bones fast imp. You wouldn't try that with many civilizations, but Turks maybe try it out. Anyway, so he's gonna be able to afford a few Janissaries and maybe a bombard cannon or two.
Wait,
and
I think a bombard cannon, or is he gonna mix in one Treb?
oh, I would go bombard
res.
cannon. You're playing as Turks. You got the siege workshop already up. You want that mobility, I think.
Oh, right. He's got free. I forgot about free chemistry. My bad.
Oh yeah, it's this Turk's specialty. But yeah, he's not gonna be able to afford that much. And
MBL's gonna put that castle down, but it's gonna be immediately hurt by a bombard cannon and a Treb.
Yeah, well, certainly you're not gonna expect this. You know, it's always on the cards. Actually, Trebuchet is coming out, so gonna go with actually both. But you're not gonna expect this, you know, this early on. What in the world is happening in... You look at one place for a second and see something interesting, and then you look at another place and realize what the hell happened. I just saw LB10 trying to batter down a castle with villagers. And yeah, that's not going to work. It's a base trade scenario.
Yeah.
As LB10 down to 32 villagers, going to keep going lower and lower. As Mengadai start to come out from Nicov. Man, if you're LB10 right now, I would just use every village you had to stonewall everything in, get towers up, just try to defend as best you can. There's a siege workshop here for Nili, so you know maybe even be able to take out that castle of Nicov. This game could go either way, but these are such delicate positions for these players. Also, who's in a worse position, LB10 or MBL?
Ooh, I'm gonna say LB10 because.
Oh man, I'm gonna say MBL. Because, man, because that castle's going to go down, and, you know, Nicov can't really help too much. The thing is, Mengadai have an attack bonus versus bombard cannon, so maybe we see that come into effect also. But we'll have to see. It's all about the micro, really.
I guess that TC is going to go down as well for MBL. Oh, I think I'm picking up what you're putting down here. Wait, Nili had Janissaries in the back of MBL's base? How long were those there? And they're having like a shotgun war over here trying to hit each other.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite things in Age of Empires, actually, is gunpowder versus gunpowder wars. They're just so fun, because you never get that ballistics in. Obviously on gunpowder.
Right. Unless Portuguese, of course, but not going to see that for the Turks.
Oh, we don't talk about the Portuguese. Don't talk about them.
We don't talk about the Portuguese. Oh, I didn't know. Sore spot. Okay, Nili does have a bombard cannon out, hitting Nikov's castle, and that would be a big deal if that comes down. It would stop the Mengadai.
Absolutely. The thing is, Nicov has 50 villagers now, so he can dedicate a few villagers to repairing that castle indefinitely. You know, just to keep things, keep those Mengadai coming out, and I think it's worth it.
Nili keeps moving. MBL's base is going to slowly disappear here.
Yeah, those Janissaries moving in. Another castle coming from MBL, though. It's on the hill. MBL's not that far in Janissary numbers. If he's able to, you know, keep up with the Janissary numbers, then he'll have a good chance at defending himself. And those Janissaries from Nili taking a few shots more than they should have. So MBL's going to go into that castle. He's got no place left to run if that castle is to go down, though. So this is MBL's last stand. He's going to have to keep this castle up, and he may be able to, though. Here comes that trebuchet, that bombard cannon. Every resource, every unit is so essential right now for Nili.
Look left. There's Mengadai coming in. It looks like it's going to hurt.
Yeah, they're not very well upgraded, but they could certainly pick off a bombard cannon really quickly, pick off a Janissary really quickly, and yeah, this is not that strong, to be quite honest. You need to see more Janissaries from Nili. He must have lost a few too many to MBL. Here comes those Mengadais. This is going to hurt so badly if the micro is right. And from the north, we have MBL coming in for the sandwich as well. There's the GG right there. And, wow. Man, what a game.
Yeah, that does it.
So there we go. Nicov and MBL going to take this game. What were some of your thoughts on that game?
My thoughts were, when you asked who's in a worse position, LB10 or MBL, right as you said that is when the first few Mengadai were coming in, and they went right for Nili's wood line. though, yet again, Nili and LB10 were the more rateable of the team. Even though Nili was doing such a great job on MBL, like out of nowhere, he had nothing at home to stop 3 Mangadai from just picking off villagers.
Well, it goes to show the power of the Mangadai once again. It's great that Nicov was able to repair his castle quite a bit. And just with that bonus versus siege, that mobility, being able to do enough damage. I feel like if Nili, maybe say he had more fishing ships, maybe he had a better economy going for him, then he could have had more Janissary to help defend his siege. You know, maybe Mangadai would not be as scary. But Nili only had so much economy for Janissary, and because that was able to just get destroyed by Nicov. LB10 once again throwing away too many villagers on his tower rush. Might have to work on that a little bit. And, you know, those are some of the reasons why he got behind in this game. And also, we didn't comment too much, but it looks like MBL won the water war there, which again hurt Nili's economy.
What would you have liked to see from LB10 post having to transport his villagers? Because he did end up transporting them behind MBL and just started mining gold. You think he might have been able to do something different? Even if it was just...
Oh, I don't know. I don't think... Maybe? I think Nicov is too on edge to get any sneaky towers up. Maybe you could have gotten some towers up on MBL, but...
Oh, that's what I meant, yes. Because the villagers are now behind MBL.
Yeah, I think I would have liked to seen a few towers, you know, from that point of view. You know, could really slow MBL down a little bit more. But I didn't like the decision at all for LB10 to go tower rush once he saw the walls coming up. Wasn't able to get in through the left. Okay, you know, cut your losses there. Try to get in through the right, but you have to expect, you know, with just all these trees and everything like that there, that a quick gate could come up and your villagers could get trapped. As well, LB10 not really watching his villagers too closely, ran his villagers under a tower that was already built. And I think that's what lost him that side.
Yeah, I think those are the major points. Are we on to the next one?
Yeah, we should go on to the next one. My name's Nobody. That was Willis. Let's go on to the next game, and we'll see you there.